Start us off, Callum.
I can't hear you.
Is my mic not coming through?
No, you're,
Carter, can you hear me?
you're supposed to say it again.
I can hear you. Oh,
You're supposed to say it again, and then I would
oh.
go, oh. And then
Oh, I
would
apologize.
Go into
okay, all right.
now we'll go into the episode.
Do a
Alright.
double take on that. Can we do a double take on that?
Okay, let's go back to one.
And action.
Start us off, Callum.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Castpod. Today we are going to.
Carter is ready to scream.
This mic would have jumped off the table and killed itself.
Yeah, but here we are. We are back, and we're jumping right into it. No time for bits. No bits.
Yeah.
Only focus.
This is a bit-free show.
Oh yeah, this is a violently anti-bit show.
That's right. Tell us why, Kevin. What are we doing?
Oh.
Oh.
We are doing things. Sorry, I just looked at Tom's. I looked at Tom's stream. He lost somebody.
Don't date the episode. No.
Oh man. Oh, why didn't we? Could have just done that. We could have just
Commentated on Tom. Nah, he's winding down. So.
Oh, damn it. All right. Well, next time, if we don't have an episode idea next time, we're just gonna do that.
Live commentary on Tom's stream without telling him.
Yeah, don't tell him.
He'll be flatted.
So, anyways,
what are we doing today, Ferb?
What are we doing?
It is a day, and we have a year to complete what we want to complete for this channel, or work on it. We don't have to complete it. It could be a longer journey. So, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've been up to since the last episode. I know Callum's done some things.
I've been doing things.
Carter's done some things, and I exist.
I've done a handful of things.
Haven't died yet, so that's where we're at with me. And then we're gonna talk about we're gonna set some Castpod goals on what we want to do over the next year, because we're all pretty gung ho into this, and we want to try and make things more and make more videos. Something we slightly talked about during this brief hiatus that we were on was because our schedules didn't line up enough, is pre-recording some things and like planning out things a little further out, like 4 times when we're not here, to make things more consistent.
Yeah, we did that for a little while.
We had a little bit of a load up, and then I believe our last videos were the Kevin and Carter talk quarterbacks, which happened around the draft.
Yes, which was, well, okay. When you say it's from the draft, the draft was April. I thought the draft was May. But anyway, that was you being like, Carter, get on. We're talking about football. Let's talking about football.
I want you to. It wasn't just
3
that.
3 a.m. Let's talk football. It was a few times.
Apparently, if I'm thinking about football while drunk in the middle of the night, I always reach out to Carter and go, "Wake up, we're talking football."
And I'm like, and I more often than not say something along the lines of doing the meme, the missile is quite eepy.
But
I don't sleep very well.
But yeah, no, I typically go, "Carter, let's talk football. I'm ready." And he's just like, "I can't. I want to go to sleep." And it's like, boo.
I am actually in my pajamas.
Yeah.
But anywho, yes. So we've been working on a bunch of different things. We've all kind of been scattered to the winds, as it were. Callum, do you want to start us off with your nerdy science stuff?
Sure. I do science and things. I was doing science today, actually.
You were?
Oh, really?
You sent buckets of snakes?
Yeah, buckets of snakes. We just got a big shipment from Africa of some stuff we've been waiting on. So today we were just kind of organizing it into various jars where they belong, identifying them and stuff like that. That was fun. But yeah, I've been working on school stuff, obviously doing research, and that'll be the whole process through the summer. But besides doing all that research stuff, which I have a lot to do there, um, I think getting back into YouTube would be cool. Aside from this channel, just like making more videos for C&D and maybe Castpod games if we feel like it.
That was going to be one of my
Uh,
things, actually.
yeah, so making more videos would be cool. Um, and I've already been streaming more, but getting even more consistent with streaming would be nice because I do
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah. When you stream Super Auto Pets, and when you stream at twitch.tv/calamander or calamand3,
Mm-hmm.
um, like it says on the screen right now, because I updated it for real this time. Um, I updated it a while ago, but I forgot if I did or not. Super Auto Pets, great game to watch. Like,
It's really entertaining. I've been watching it for so long, and now I play it.
Um, can I? So I haven't gotten to see any of your streams with Super Auto Pets. What
Yeah,
exactly is Super Auto Pets? At this, I
yeah,
was too embarrassed to ask. But if I'm going to ask, it needs to be on a recorded audio, so you can't call me an idiot on screen.
that's true.
you can still call you
Uh,
an idiot on audio.
no, that's
Oh,
illegal.
fuck me! I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So to sum it up, it's an auto battler. So basically, you pick a team of little animals, um, and you have a team of five, and they all have their own little abilities, and you're just trying to make the best team you can. And then when you get into a game against another person, your two teams go head to head and see which one has the better ones. But like you can't control them. That's the auto battler part of it. They just kind of do their abilities, and you hopefully win. You try to get to 10 wins, and it's like kind of like a casino type setup where you roll to see what pets you can get, and sometimes it's the one you want, and sometimes it's not. And there's also like items you can put on it to make them better. But that's the basic gist of it. It's like if you were playing Pokemon, but your team is random every time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You should
Maybe
stream
I
it
should
after we
do the
record.
effort.
Maybe. We'll see.
I'm surprised how
Unless we're
big a
playing Fortnite.
community there is for Pokemon RNG stuff.
Yeah, people are still really into Pokemon. I don't know if it'll ever go away.
I think it's a little past that point, kind of like The Simpsons, where it might not be at its like super popular prime per se.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm not 100% sure on that. Like with modern day games and like DLC streaming and stuff. Um, and people love watching first run throughs too.
True.
But
Yeah,
just
Yeah.
I'm
uh,
still very behind in Scarlet and Violet personally.
yeah. But I think it's kind of getting that like Simpsons treatment, or like no, kind of like South Park, where it's just like this has been around for well over 20 years now, closer to 30 years than 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still going very strong. So
Yeah, and people keep putting out new, cool, fan-made games, and
yeah,
so it's just gonna continue to be enjoyable.
Also, you came home for a little bit.
I did. I was home for a couple weeks
hmm
and hung out with some people, did some activities.
we
Um,
went to a bar.
we did go to a bar. We got all drunk. We had like a huge collection of people. It was kind of crazy. Um, but it was a lot of fun, and I somehow ended up hanging out with Danny like every day.
I'm not surprised.
Not planned at all. It would just be
Classic
like,
Danny.
let's do this thing, and now let's do this thing. Um, and that was great. And hung out with the family quite a bit, which was fun. Went to the zoo one day.
Yeah, I
It
saw
was
that
very nice.
that picture.
I
Yeah,
am quite jealous. I haven't been to that zoo in forever. The Philadelphia Zoo is,
Fantastic.
yes, as depicted in the hit M. Night Shyamalan film Split, is the
hmm
best zoo in the country.
yeah, and the oldest.
It is the
Really?
oldest. Yes.
I did not
hmm
know that, actually.
Yeah, fun fact.
Huh.
It was cool. And I also went on a trip even more recently to Colorado,
Hmm.
which
Oh
was
God.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a 10-hour drive for me. So I did the full 10 hours one way, and then I split it up with other people on the way back because I was just too tired. But we left in the morning. We drove out there. We drove through the entirety of New Mexico and through most of Colorado to get to Denver, and we were going to see a T-Pain concert. So we got there at like 6 p.m. To our hotel, a Super 8 motel,
Whoa.
and the concert was at. We wanted to get there at 7 is when the doors opened. So arriving there at like 6:10 was pretty funny. But our motel was like 6 minutes away from the venue, so it was fine. Drove
Okay.
over there. Um, One thing I noticed that I haven't seen before, I don't go to a lot of concerts, so maybe it's a regular thing, but like there were a bunch of options for parking, but they were all different prices. And I think it was just like people who live there that like have parking spaces were just selling their spaces and
Hmm.
like trying to
Oh yeah.
compete
Oh,
with each other.
absolutely. They do that like everywhere. Like they just like if you live
And
near a big concert venue or like honestly a big horse track too, like up in Saratoga, New York, people just have like entire plots of land and they just make money off of allowing people to park there for like $10 a car all summer long, and then they just make their money for the year doing that.
what a life.
I had no idea. I just have not experienced that before. It was really interesting because I was like, oh, there's parking here, and there's parking here, and this is $5 cheaper. And this one's $10 more expensive. What's going on? But we parked, got into the concert, and it was one of those ones that had like a really big open like floor in front of the stage, and then like a few seats in the back. I don't know
Hmm.
why people chose to sit in the back because like the floor was just open. I guess people wanted to sit down, but like, why are you sitting down at a T-Pain concert?
Yeah,
Um,
it's T Pain.
That's for the people who smoke like a lot of weed.
they just can't stand anymore.
Yeah, they're
So
they're 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 outie, baby.
They can't even.
yeah, so we were on the floor. We were pretty close to the front, um, and stood there for a while. Went through all the opening acts. Some of them were really good. I've never heard of any of the opening acts before, but they were fair. They had some good songs, so I wasn't too disappointed. Um, and then we'd like kind of made friends with the people around us because we're all just like there to have a good time. So we were just chatting with. There was like the group of uh, underage lesbian women that were in front of us. There
Good for
was
them.
What a very
the
niche demographic.
yeah. I mean, some of them were of age because like a couple of them were buying the drinks for everybody else, but they had the X's on their hand to show that they were not 21. At
Oh,
least
rat
some of
them
them.
out on air, man.
Hey, I don't know. There's some
No cops
random
at
girls in
Pride. Get out of
Colorado.
Nobody
here.
listens to
In
us.
June? Oh
In
no.
June.
In June.
Shame.
But they were nice. And then there was the couple that stood next to me that was like a very short lady and a very tall and wide man.
So you went with Tom and
And
Aaron?
Oh, cool.
yeah,
Why didn't you
basically.
get photos with them?
I didn't even know they were going. They were just kind of there. But the whole time in the concert, they were both facing forward. The guy was behind her, had his arms around her so that they were constantly doing like a back hug. And at no point did they leave that position. But they were very nice.
At what point are you just impressed by that?
Yeah, I was just like, you got to get tired at some point. Or at least I would, but apparently not. So yeah, that was our little group. And then there was this other girl with her friends, and she was wearing like a boxer's like big flowy shirt that usually has like a name or something on it. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And on the back it said, um, oh, I can't remember, something about being an a-hole, and I thought that was funny. But I'm mentioning all these people because we went to war where as soon as T-Pain was about to come out, like we had been standing there for an hour and a half at this point, I think, before T Pain made his way out. This group of like four people were coming through. And, we're nice. People are like, oh, excuse me. I'll be like, yeah, no problem. I'll step to the side, let them pass by. So, like, these 4 people come by us, step up in front of us and this other group, and then they just stand there. And most of the people in this little quad were taller than the other people around us. I was one of the tallest people, I think, in the venue. I'm not even that tall. Everybody was just tiny for some reason. So I had no problem. But the rest of the people around me were like 4 or 5. And so there was a couple dudes and a couple girls that were like relatively taller than everybody else, just like stood in front of our whole group. And now all of them are like, well, what the heck? Like, we've been here this entire time, never saw these guys, and had like a perfect view for T-Pain, and these guys just like plop right in front of you. So they were like, can you move? Because like we've been here the whole time, and you just like shoved your way to the front and are now blocking our view. And they were like, nope. So
Jesus.
yeah, so that was annoying.
Did you
But
do
then
anything about it, or?
I wasn't going to do anything about it, but they were like, they basically kept talking to them, tried to get them to just like shuffle over, and they did kind of, but they're still kind of blocking some people. And so the girl with the a-hole shirt goes up in front of them and then starts walking backwards into them to push them back further into the crowd.
Love that.
Which, hilarious that this one girl thought she could move 4 people. But they didn't like that. Obviously, they were not enjoying being pushed, and so they start pushing back, and it's getting a little aggressive. And then there's this other couple behind me who we chatted with for a bit, and the dude from that couple leans over to me and he's like, "You got to get in there, man." And I'm like, "Excuse you? What do you mean I got to get in there? This ain't my fight." But then the really big guy next to me, he goes in, he starts pushing them around. They're getting mad, and again, this guy's like, you gotta assist, help him out." I'm like, you go. Like, why am I being pushed into here, being the one tall man here? But thankfully it de-escalated, and the other people kind of moved, and we like moved forward, so we were more like in line with them, kind of, rather than just straight up in front of them. So I think everybody won, but it was tense. And then I had no idea that during the actual concert there was an actual fight, like on the other side of us, that I just apparently didn't pay attention to, because
Nice.
when we talked about it afterwards, a friend was like, "Yeah, the fight was kind of crazy," and I was like, "Yeah, it was almost rough. I almost had to get in there." And then they were like, "No, the other one, like the actual fight." And I'm like, "What do you mean the actual fight?" So I had no idea, but I had a great time. T-Pain's awesome, very entertaining. Um, and to wrap up this tale, I'll talk about our motel that was full of cockroaches. I think I said I saw like 15 total, which we didn't see when we walked in, because if you've never been to a Super 8 motel, it looks like crap from the outside. It's just like run down no matter how new it is, and there's trash everywhere. But we go into the motel room, and it's like, oh, this just looks like a nice little hotel room. The beds are made, everything's clean, like cool. But then when we came back after the concert, when it was nighttime, all the lights were off, cockroaches everywhere. And it was funny because when we first went in there before the concert, I walked into, like, first when you walk into the motel room itself, it just smelled like soap, like a bar of soap from your shower, like overpoweringly so. I don't know how you make a whole room smell like a bar of soap, but they did it. And then in the bathroom when I walked in, I said to my friend, "This smells like cockroaches." And they're like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "The smell that this bathroom is giving off smells
It's
like a
cockroach.
cockroach."
Yeah.
Because
It's,
we've all been sniffing cockroaches once or twice in our life,
Yeah.
right?
well, I know I
Right.
don't want to feel left out.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Everyone, I think they're gonna kill me if I don't say yes.
Correct. So it smelled like cockroaches. I was like, "There's no way there's not cockroaches in here." But when we came back, there you go, they're everywhere. And also, why does every food place close by like midnight in Denver? Like,
In
it was
Denver? I
12:30.
have no idea.
We couldn't find anything. Went to a Jackbox, or we went to Wendy's first. I rolled up half an hour before they were supposed to close. He says, "We're closed." Like, you punk. So we drove to Jackbox, and that was open, but the line wasn't moving. It didn't move for a good 30, 45 minutes. And so we just left. And we went to Waffle House, and it was the first Waffle House I've ever been to.
Did you
Oh
see
God,
Trevor Lawrence?
I did not.
you
I
gotta
saw some
give us the
people in
deets on
rave
that.
outfits.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
so I don't know where the rave people came from, but there were a lot of scantily clad people in there. It was like 2 a.m. at this point. I'm exhausted. I woke up at like 5 a.m. because remember, this is in the same 24-hour period of me driving 10 hours to Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Uh, so I'm exhausted. We hadn't eaten dinner yet. So the last time I ate was at like noon. And so we sit down in this Waffle House, and I'm like, I guess it'll be like IHOP or something. The food sucks. Like, it's not good.
It's about the ambiance, you uncultured
Uh,
pleb.
well, nobody even started a fight in there. So was it really a Waffle House?
That's your responsibility
I
to
was
stop.
too tired. It was worse than Denny's.
Oof,
And
That's
Denny's isn't
bold.
that good.
that,
Denny's like
that's a hot
I
take.
would say I enjoy IHOP. Denny's, if I have to. Waffle House, last resort. As far as like chain diners go. Because like it just didn't taste like anything. It felt like eating the scrambled eggs was like eating
Well, that's
like
because you
wet
went to a
paper
Waffle
towels
House,
clumped
not a
together.
scrambled egg house.
You know what? You got me there. I actually didn't have a waffle while I was there.
Well, yeah. Who's the asshole in the story?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh jeez. Well, anyways, the food wasn't good, and that was my trip to Denver. And then we drove back in the morning.
Woo.
Now you say something.
All right. I guess I'll go next. So I was working on. Well, I've been working on a couple different things. So Disney Desk had a couple really jam-packed months. We had May, which we decided to make Disney Channel month in honor of the 40th anniversary of the Disney Channel. Um, it was our most nostalgia heavy and probably most successful by view counts month. It was interesting to go through, and it's very interesting just because the Disney Channel's in a weird place right now because it's like, well, what is its value outside of stuff for Disney Plus? Like, you know, where it's so much discourse about how Pixar's really been kneecapped by having their stuff moved to Disney Plus. It's like, well, all this stuff on the Disney Channel's getting moved to Disney Plus in a couple weeks anyway. Like, where does it fit in the world of children? If they're not in the mines, where are they watching the House of Mouse?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, what else I've been doing. I have been getting back to writing, both journalistically and creatively. I once again am doing another round of submissions for the Soul Scouts, which is my sort of one of my passion projects. I've been working on it for forever. I think I've referenced it a couple times on here, but it
I think
is
so. A couple.
it's an animated series I want to get made someday. So it's nice to I don't know, and I like pushed myself to share it more, which was nice. It's nice to get new feedback on my work. Shout out to Aaron for giving really really helpful notes. Um, I had my first date in God, a year and a half. It was kind of impromptu. Someone was driving through Virginia and was coming up through the Philadelphia area. And they're like, yeah, I literally got the vaccine 2 weeks ago and I just tested. And I was like, you know what? Gonna go for it. And
Nice.
Nice.
yeah. So that was nice. We just hung outside for a while. We got coffee. Obviously I've talked about I'm kind of picky about what activities I do just because I've been helping take care of my dad, and if he gets COVID, that becomes a whole thing. Um, so it was nice to like have an opportunity to like meet on relatively secure terms. Um, let's see. I saw Sydney get a concussion in real time. That was pretty
Nice.
crazy. Yeah, did I tell this story to you guys yet? I think she mentioned it, but like, we had just seen the Spider Verse. Spoiler alerts! It won't spoil your afternoon. I've turned
Solid
into
line right there.
yeah. Apparently, I turned into like your local film critic for the like Wichita Gazette. Um, and then I'm driving by because we were going to go over to Barnes and Noble to like walk and talk for a bit, and I just see her car in the middle of the road with the hazards on. Someone rear-ended her because of like the person in front of both of them made an abrupt turn. She's fine now, and the car's fine, but that was cool. Um, oh yeah, I became a DM for the first time in my life,
You
or a
did.
GM rather. In this case, yes, I have been running a campaign with these two
Yeah.
wacky creatures.
What's
It
up?
is a it's a game called Root. It's based off a asymmetrical board game. It's kind of like Redwall, a little bit of Watership Down. It is a woodland filled with like little animals and critters who all have their own little governments and societies, and it's about all of them fighting for territory in this huge woodlands. And so far, it's been really fun. I think I've learned a lot about story. I definitely learned a lot about storytelling. I definitely learned a lot about game design, and I appreciate a lot of like I don't know. I like that they keep presenting me like I like I've found all the players engaging in the space without needing me to push them into the space. Like for example, I set up a bar and I set up like oh, I put some characters in one corner, I put some characters in another corner, and I'd originally planned to have a third character come in and kind of trigger a conflict between everyone. But instead, everyone went into different corners to engage with who was there, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to like they're finding the plot. I don't need to push them into plot. Um, I'm still a little nervous, but I think Logan helped me sum it up because he just randomly went, hey man, don't sweat yourself so much. It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And in general, that's an attitude I've been trying to take to a lot more of my semi-creative, semi-like workish things. So like I've been trying to stream more and being more relaxed. Disney Desk, I've come back with a greater like creative gusto, and that's been it's been a nice attitude to have. Trying to think of other fun things I've been doing on this month hiatus. Uh, and then it's a lot of like fixing things around the house. Like I said, I was dealing with my dad's stuff, so I kind of lost track of things. The dryer broke. The roof needed to be addressed. I realized my car was way, 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 way due for inspection. So just getting things organized around my area.
Nice.
All right, Kevin, what have you been up to?
I too got my car inspected. Um, that's a major thing that's happened over the last couple of weeks to me. Let's see. I went to Logan's wedding.
Oh yeah, how did that? Oh, I forgot Calum didn't go because he was still in Texas. But
Yeah,
I know.
Calum's
how
in
was that
Texas.
wedding? Do you want to talk trash about it?
Um, I wouldn't.
I mean, in a loving way, with peace and love.
There's there wasn't really anything to talk trash about. Like they had a more formal religious ceremony than Danny in their living room marrying them. Um, Listen to Harper in the podcast if you want that story, or an old episode of Castpod, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But so that was kind of like I guess not shell shocking, but it was like definitely an interesting vibe because I'm not super religious myself, and they're not like the most religious people on the planet either. But it was still like a pretty religious wedding ceremony, and all the religious wedding ceremonies I've been to, it's like hardcore Roman Catholic, and usually I just sit. My goal is just to sit near my grandfather and listen to him without his filter, just comment on things he sees around him, which is entertaining as anything. Like when we were Molly and I were debating on having like an actual wedding ceremony, we're like for the 2 days that we actually considered it, one of the things that we talked about, I was like, listen, hear me out. This is going to sound bold. Assigned seating for the ceremony, and we just put him front row so I can listen to him like I do at every other wedding. And she said, no, because we'll be able to hear him from the back row. And then we decided, let's have Danny marry us in our living room instead. But Logan and Claire's wedding was a great time. It was a lot more. It was pretty chill. The the one the I would say two funniest parts is, or I guess three. We showed up. We were almost late to the wedding. It was me, Molly, Tom, and Aaron. We got a hotel room together, and we almost showed up late.
How?
Tom drove. Nah, I kid. It was just
Yes.
getting four people out the door in an orderly fashion when we're obviously not coordinated enough to do that. And we pull into the parking lot, and we're going into the building, and we see someone walking in front of us. It's Logan, who was also almost late.
Now that's funny.
And we're like, hey, he looks at us all like hurrying in, and he's like, did you guys just get here? And we're like, yeah, we did. How's it going? And then it's like, how's it going? And I'm like, hey man, if you want to back out of this right now, I'll run away with you right now. I'll leave my wife. And then I turn the door, and it's like, how's it going, priest? How we doing? Or no, it was Claire's brother and then the priest, and I was like, hey, how's it going? And I'm fucking like almost swearing inside of a church, and we slip in, sitting in the back row, and it was by far the worst possible seating arrangement. And I'm not talking like it was just rows of seats that didn't matter that much, but the lineup that we chose. So it was like in order: Tom, Aaron, me, Molly. Aaron and Aaron and I are a terrible combination to put it next to each other in a semi-serious situation because we've had like pretty
No.
similar upbringings. Yeah, I know it's surprising. So like we're very much on the same wavelength about a lot of things. And in front of us was Diana and her husband Dave. So it's like a mixture of Aaron and I just cracking jokes and trying our best not to bully Diana.
I would have kicked her chair so much.
We did. We 100% were just kicking her chair. And then
And I'd be like, this isn't a social club, people.
and then
Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then when they were dismissing everyone, Logan, instead of doing like Logan and Claire leave and you do a procession and they greet everyone as they walk out the doors to kind of streamline the process, which I thoroughly appreciated. They did they like escorted people out kind of like flight attendants out of the row where it's like, all right, this row now. And then they said their goodbyes and like thank yous and stuff. This row now. And I forget who pointed it out to me. I think it was Molly, where she pointed out that if I switched places with her, I would be the last one to say anything to them. And I said, absolutely, we're ending on a low note.
Um,
And that was the last one.
Maniacs.
And then I was like, nothing but compliments for Claire. Love Claire. She's a great person. And then there was Logan, and I was just like, once again, I'm like, we can just nix this marriage, and we can scamper off now.
mhm.
And he's like, and he was of course going with the bit, and then ran into some people that. So Tom and I played D&D with Logan and some of Logan's like high school and friends outside of us as well. And I met a couple of them at like a party Logan had once and his bachelor party. But then there was another kid that I also got to meet for the first time, and it's like, oh, this is awesome. And then we sat in our like the little hall that they had rented out for dinner and stuff, and we made a drinking game while sitting right next to the priest.
Did the priest win?
No, it was like
Oh,
we're all. It was like long picnic bench style tables, like everyone's shoulder to shoulder, and like it's not like a circle. So it's like we're all in line up, and it's just like next to the priest, and we're the priest made an analogy about how the triangle was um the strongest shape or something like that for having two. It was like for like it's like because there's the man, the wife, and then God in the marriage and stuff or something like that, and then I spent I don't know like I was like, yeah, that's right. Triangles are the strongest shape. And then Tom goes, no, circles are the strongest shape. And I spent probably the better part of 2 hours annoying Tom with how, with just like getting progressively stupider theories on why triangles are stronger than circles when I didn't give a shit. I didn't care.
oh.
You
I'm,
really are a fucking Looney Tunes
I
character.
really am.
Just fucked with the opera singer for like 7 hours.
I'm 100% an animaniac in real life. I'm drawing diagrams on cocktail napkins. And I'm just getting progressively more obnoxious about it. It's just like I'm drawing just random shapes, and I'm like, hear me out, Tom. If you want to think about it, in theory, every sphere is made up of a bunch of triangles. And he's just like, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but when you think about it.
Oh yeah, just getting so
Does
obnoxious.
Tom humor you? Like, does Tom know it's a bit, or does
Tom,
he get actually invested?
he knows. This is how I exploit Tom's weakness now that we're outside of college, because he knows it's a bit. He's not like he knows that I'm doing it to mess with him because he outright says he's like, I know he's doing this to mess with me. But my re-bringing it up and just segueing conversations. It's like, oh yeah, how was your dinner? Good. And I'm like, you know what else is good? The triangle. And just stupid segues and stupid theories drive him just crazy enough that he has to participate, and then some.
Oh God, that actually reminds me of a very funny story that I heard. I was not a part of, but apparently Josh Brolin, the actor, came to a talk at NYU, and someone who like worked with the Washington Square News, which is our main publication, goes up to him as he's leaving, and goes, "Hey, Mr. Brolin, robots or ninjas?" And he just freezes and goes, "What did you just say? Robots or ninjas?" And he's like, what do you mean? What in what set? What sense?" And he starts getting really worked up about it.
Mm-hmm.
And like some person in his class is like, "Hey man, whatever, let it go." And he's like, "No, I gotta. What is this kid doing? Like, what is this bit?" And the guy finally goes, I'm sorry. I was just being silly. I'm really excited to see you in True Grit." And he just like somehow goes from like 10 in terms of like I'm gonna punch your head off scale to like 2 and goes, I'm barely in the movie, man.
Nice. But yeah, no, I kind of did that too because I was giving him directions back to the hotel from the reception venue, and he's like, "I'm surprised like Aaron and Molly were drunk in the back seat," and I sobered up at that point. And we were talking, and they were talking about something, and Tom's like, "I'm surprised you're not jumping in with that," and I'm like, "I'm giving you directions, man. I want to make us once we get back to the hotel. Yeah, I'm gonna screw with you, but before then, I'm not."
You could have.
I could have, but I was like, I want to get us all back like safe, and I did.
Proud of you.
But yeah, that's all. Like, actually, the only other thing that I've done of like significance is I bought a blue tongue skink.
Nice.
And when I say I bought a blue tongue skink, I mean I got one for free.
I was gonna say.
I know what those are.
It's a lizard.
Checks
Right.
notes.
It was on
The
my.
thing
Yes,
that
a
smells bad.
loser.
It was on. It was on the end of my last Planet Zoo stream. I brought it out specifically because Callum wasn't there.
Rude. And then you didn't stream the other night.
I didn't. I had some things I had to take care of first, and it was just too late to stream afterwards.
Fair.
Just one of those. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this, and then it's just like, hey, no, and then it's just like, okay.
Well, now that we've wrapped up the updates, where do we go from here?
Probably for another 20 minutes, and then we end the episode in an abrupt fashion.
No, dingus. What are our future plans?
Well, I can start that because I have a couple. So one big thing we've been talking about is we have a lot of ideas for miniseries. As you guys know, we have started a few. Kevin explains wrestling, Callum explains anime, I did my football run. I think all of us have like 2 or 3 different ideas that we're really passionate about, which for me is exciting because, when you commit to doing the Disney desk, there is a limit to the things you can talk about. You put yourself in a little bit of a box. Yeah. And there's a lot of topics sort of outside the animation purview that I am pretty passionate about, and it's fun to have a space to pontificate and talk and...
What are these words that you're using?
I went to college, sir.
So did I.
I smoke a pipe. I read the newspaper.
You're talking about ponification and...
Ponification?
I'm sorry, Mr. Doctor. Anyway.
You know what? I'm just gonna let ponification go. It's better for all of us that way.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so you're smoking your pipe and...
Anywho, yeah, so, for example, one that will be coming up, hopefully pretty soon, is a musical-themed show where we go through the history of Broadway and musical theater. That is one I've been most excited for.
I'm very excited for that one, too.
Unfortunately, as the NFL season returns, we will be doing a little more of that. And I'd love to start incorporating some of our fantasy football stuff into that, talking about how our teams are doing.
Absolutely, I'm down. And...
Callum. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I was going to say, like, kind of going off of that football, because we talked about it a little bit when we were last recording of, like, after the draft, or before the draft, because we recorded right before the draft. The last episode was posted a couple hours before the NFL draft for the season, of doing like a draft and beginning of off-season recap of major events and who we think won the draft and stuff like that. So that could be in the future.
Oh, yes. Callum, what are some of the things you're aspiring to?
So,
other than getting a doctorate.
Yeah, I mean that in general, but yeah, I would like to record some more Castpod stuff. I'd like to go back to some of the other things that we started on but haven't really done much with since. We have a bunch of ideas in the little ideas channel that we have.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of ideas.
Kind of waiting to be made, so I'd love to get through some of those. So obviously recording more of the anime stuff, which may be coming sooner than you think. And I think making more like Castpod ranked, I really enjoyed that. So I'd like to go back to doing that. Some more Castpod games, as I already mentioned. There's lots of games to be played that we could do.
I already recorded a lot for that. I just keep forgetting to post them on the damn thing.
Then post them on the damn thing.
I forget to sign in.
It's pinned in the Discord.
This is like me with C&D. I have videos, I just need to edit and post them. But yeah, basically stuff like that. Just more content creation in general throughout this year, I think would be good for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more content in general. There's a couple ideas that we got floating through, like the ideas Discord and some other stuff, where let me see if I think it's pinned. Oh yeah, How do I repost that for Carter?
Thank you.
It's in the pinned category on the Discord, Carter.
Oh, I forget. Okay,
Yeah,
I got it.
it's the only thing there. But getting
I just forget that it's up there. I forget that it's a little thumbtack.
yeah, getting some more content out, and there's a couple ideas for maybe not like long terms. There's one real long term series that I thought of for Kevin Explains Wrestling.
Oh
And
yes, that one's bananas.
that one it's a hefty one. So I wanted to, due to like my vague deadline idea, was gonna bring that up to you guys again and just be like, all right, do we rewatch every WrestleMania and post our reactions and discussions about it each week going up to WrestleMania 40, which is in Philly, and my wife is actively on alert for tickets to try and go.
That'd be cool.
Because I've gotten
That's your Taylor Swift. That's your Eras tour.
Absolutely.
I respect it.
But there was that idea. There's a couple of, I think a lot of like I've been like outside of things like Castpod ranks. Yeah, there's our and there's our Overwatch ideas that we had, which I was with Callum, but I don't remember what we were doing. That I was with him when I suggested that. Oh, we were at Nina's. That's where we were. I just remembered that. But we were like some of the ideas like that. Like I'd like for us to do a fantasy football like recap thing. Something I was gonna do, but Madden got rid of like I was gonna do it last year, I believe, where I was going to buy Madden and reallocate the teams to match our fantasy teams and see who's going to win.
Oh, that would be fun.
They don't have like a build a team function or something like that anymore.
Which is insane when you say that out loud.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could do it in like the franchise mode, but that seems like way too much work.
Oh, I assure you it is. I'm so bummed that Josh Allen is like. I guess I'm excited because he's always wanted to be on it, and it's cool to finally have a Bills player on. But couldn't it have happened when Madden was still like
relevant?
Good?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Good's another word. Yeah.
And it wasn't in that COD space where it's like a handful of fanatics keeping the thing afloat and buying all the microtransactions.
Yeah. But
damn.
I've also been thinking about like something that might be good for us is doing a lot of maybe not themed months, but doing things that go over the course of 4 to 5 weeks, like mini series.
Yeah, that'd be
for
cool.
things to try and at least maybe not like be like permanent things on the channel, but it's like if we do this idea, that's four videos right there.
Yeah, honestly, straight up themed months are really, really helped. Like they've been very good for Disney Desk in terms of like they both keep you honest and give you like it's easier when you have a framework. When you have to just think of nothing, it's trickier.
Yeah. Like I think I posted like a couple ideas either out loud or in my head, of like different idea for, like different months of what we could do, and just to pre-record some, get it pre-uploaded, upload it, and then call it a day, and let it flow in. Also, I want to do I want to try and figure out how to get a bigger reach, but also like get Castpod set up on things like Instagram and social media, but also like
Spotify,
Apple Podcast, things like that. Get more than just a YouTube channel for the engagement aspect.
Because everybody is always like, oh, when it's a YouTube channel, I gotta keep my phone open to listen to it. Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah, that's
Oh
pretty much what
yeah.
they say.
Can I just say I did a free trial of YouTube. I guess it's called Premium now.
Yeah.
And man, you really realize how insane it is that they gatekeep that behind.
A paywall.
Yes, it's like, oh, like literally the most useful functionality this thing can possibly have.
Yeah.
It is surprisingly nice. I also did a free trial one time.
I haven't yet because I know I know me, and if I have to pay for it once and I realize how great it is, exclusively going to pay for it. I won't switch back.
Yeah,
Right, right.
you will be convinced for sure.
I'm highly very easily convinced. So, it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I
But
get you.
also a couple other ideas I had for us to do is I'm trying to think of the best, like, maybe not some. I don't want to specifically say like role play per se, but like character work things. I think I've mentioned it at D&D the other night, where it's just like, oh, it'd be funny if we did like a Castpod video where it's just us in like some D&D characters, like in
Yeah,
character,
that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
or try and think of some like some situation or some like semi improv of already pre thinking of a situation of like, all right, this is it's going to be this character in this character at this setting,
That would
Um,
be cool.
and just trying
bas-
to
ba-
make something
basically that
happen.
basically that episode of Victorious where they are all given roles to method act, but they're all roles like you're pregnant and you just ran a marathon.
Exactly like
You're
that.
a cop who's really into Raisin Bran.
Yep, exactly like that. Where it's just like, just get a little method with it, but also just like have fun with improving in character.
It could also be like some of your Pokemon one shots where it's like you're given
Oh yeah, I could make
the
some.
baseline of a character and then you just like make something from that. So like
Yeah,
for the Pokemon being given a Pokemon card, but for like other D&D, you could just be like you are um, an elf and you are a bard. Go.
yeah,
And then you just like make a character.
yeah. We could maybe do something like that too. Now that I think about it, I can make that. I can make that happen very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
But
And you're pregnant and you just ran a marathon.
and you're also a cop that loves Raisin Bran. You've got a lot going on.
I'm trying to remember any of the other ones.
I also still say that we should do a dramatic reading of Soul Scouts on the channel.
I would like to do another one of those. The script has changed enough that I think it could be worthwhile.
Callum and I are ready. There was one night where we were just like loosely gaming, and you posted it in the Discord or a Discord, and we were Callum and I were kind of doing that where we were reading it in voices and stuff.
Yeah, and I could do something other than a Kermit voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
why? I
will
just remember the
I?
Kermit voice.
Yeah.
Spoilers, it's gonna be the Joker voice now.
The Joker, baby.
Just every line somehow ricochets back to Joker, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah. But kind of like I want to make more videos that are just fun to make. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying we can't go like serious about things and stuff, but it's just like I'd rather like instead of trying too hard to like make something work or make something funny and things like that, I'd rather us just get on and dick around for an hour or two and then just be like, you know what, that was a good time, and then like try and force something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Honestly, I agree with that completely. I'm like, if this, the show's called the Castpod. I think we're open to shenanigans more than anything else.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
it's a
It doesn't
podcast
feel
built on
like a
spite.
job if you enjoy it. That's what they say.
That's a
Right,
load
boomer.
of bullshit right
You
there.
won't work a day in your life if you love it.
Yeah, no, that's a lie and a half, and
Oh
I've experienced
God.
how it is a lie and a half. So
Oh, you love it.
no,
I assure you, I net urine for the desk.
yeah,
Can't think of another word.
I'm starting to mail Callum just a box of gorilla shit right now.
Oh wait. At
You
least send
asked
me
for it.
at least send me one of those chocolate molds of a butthole.
I
I will mold my butthole and then make chocolate out.
There was actually a podcast I was watching that did that. They molded each other's buttholes
Assholes.
and sent it to each other and then ate it on the podcast. It was so weird.
That's so
Because they
weird.
were both just looking at it and they're like, so this is what your butthole looks like, huh?
Yeah,
And I'm
no,
like, yeah.
that's something. That's something
I
that
think
once it
sometimes it
happens,
behooves us
you
to know
won't be
less
able
about
to
each other.
unsee.
You'll never be able to look at that person without thinking of what their butthole looks like.
Yeah,
Mm. I
Same
just
with your
think
exes.
America. I just think in America we could know less about each other and we'd all be happier.
yeah, no, that's a downside to getting married. At some point or another, she will see your butt.
Just wait until the next Jackbox night. We're all going to be seeing each other's
Oh
buttholes.
my god. Yeah, we got a little. That happened when we were last recording, but we got a little drunk and then we got a little flirty with each other, specifically me and Cal.
They get a little quirky at night.
When did this happen?
Tom's birthday when we were playing Jackbox that
Yeah,
night.
you remember.
Oh, right. I went to. I remember a little bit of that, but I've crashed pretty hard after. I fell asleep, like an hour. I didn't. I like later. I was told you guys stayed up an hour after I got off.
We were up
Mhm.
till about 4 in the morning Eastern
You
time.
maniacs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. So, anyways, look forward to Castpod Butthole Chocolate coming to you soon, coming to a Kohl's near you.
If we could get
Yeah.
this branded by Kohl's, we would have far too much power on this planet.
The amount of
Whoever.
Kohl's cash we would have.
Kohl's could buy a new pair of shorts.
So, thank you everybody so much for listening to this episode.
Yeah, honestly, it's time to wrap up. So,
Heck yeah, perfect timing. Had to end it on a Kohl's joke. I hope you enjoyed listening to what we've been up to and where we will go, and I hope you'll join us for the ride. Enjoy what's to come.
okay, bye.
Come.
Clean ending there.
Very clean.